Buenos dias, Gunners Collective. Back at it, you already know. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. And another one. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Like a motherfucker. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Like a smack at it. Bye-ya. 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 Orderlies, you can tell by that thumbnail right there. Huh. They put me in the wrong cell, that's it. Or did they put him in the wrong cell? One never knows, does one? But we were definitely in the wrong cell. Now, this story I wanted to tell you guys today happened to me, and I'm sure it happened to a lot of people incarcerated. Whenever you're locked up, you don't run shit, homie. Okay, you can't tell the administration where to put you, how to put you, why to put you. Hey, put me over here. Toma, bitch. You're going where we send you. Fuck, eh? Spencer like that. You know, I've been put in situations where I was sent down south against my free will, right? I've been put in situations where I was sent way up north and it was cold. That motherfucker, I was doing burpees in the snow, right? I've been sent all over the place, man. Never once did I cry about it. Never once did I say, why come or how come? Just, hey, get on the fucking green goose and let's go. You know, wherever they send me, they're going to send me. At the end of the day, I know that it's out of my reach. It's out of my hands, man. When you're incarcerated, you're an ex-convict. You know this. You know, you've been somewhere you didn't want to be. And that's just how it is, man. That's part of the game. Chalk that one up. So I was going to smoke it. Do whatever you got to do. Tend to it. It doesn't matter, Holmes. That's what you got. That's what you're going to get. Now, in this situation, I was in the youth authority. I'm doing time, and they decided that for no other reason they should try something new, or maybe it was a slip up. I don't know. It had to be a slip up because there was a lot of black guys working this weekend that weren't necessarily on this compa, so they didn't know the makeup of it, and they were called GSs at the time. Now, anyone who's been in the youth authority will tell you the ones that dressed and looked like actual COs in the uniforms were called GSs. The ones that dressed regular were actually youth counselors, YCs. And then you had a senior who basically was the lieutenant of the building. He ran the whole building. What he said goes. He was God of that particular building. Period. Menudo style. Right? Now trip out. So I remember we weren't necessarily going at it with the Southsiders. You know, they were our enemy. We were their enemy. Everybody knew that. But we were at a half 60, a standstill, a soft defensive stance, meaning, hey, you guys do your program, we're going to do our program. That's just how it was. When I got there, it was like that. When I left, it was like that. And this is in Carl Holton. There wasn't no beef. You know, every once in a while, there'd be a little one-on-one or maybe a scuffle in the school area. But it quickly got diffused because this was a programming place. Everybody was trying to go home. You know, it seemed like all the rioters and all the real ones that were actually putting in all the work, they were either in Preston, Chad, or YTS. And Carl Holton and DeWitt Nelson were kind of a programming institution. Now, at this time, Carl Holton was considered a drug institution, meaning that if you had any type of drug programs or anything like that, this is where they sent you. Of course, I've told the story in my past where I try to play that, hey, so I got a problem, man. I smoke too much weed, right? And they put me in the drug program, which was Nellis. It didn't quite work out too well for me there. Eventually, it caught up to me, and I knew that this was in my file, so I was going to have to do a drug program, even though I didn't have a problem. It was the games that we played. You know, everyone's trying. I was actually trying to get to OH Close up north with all my homeboys and program and do my thing, right? Didn't work out for me. They said, "Some Steve, we're going to send you to Nellis, buddy. Why?" You know what I mean? Because we can. Because we can, bitch. Right? And I was like, fuck, man. So there I went. So now I'm back up north. I was in Preston functioning, doing my thing. I was actually sitting in Tamarack. We had just got into it with the Fresno Bulldogs. And I couldn't wait to get out of the oil to get right back in the mix because I had a couple Bulldogs I wanted to get at on a personal level, if you feel me, right? I didn't quite make it back. You know, right when I got to Greenbrier, about 2 days later, Greenbrier being a fucking compa there, they shipped my ass out to Carl Holton. Now, I've told the story as soon as I got to Carl Holton, I got off with the Southsider man that I recognized from my actual city, who was kind of undercover at this point. You know, I knew him to be a Norteno when I knew him, but now he was claiming Atwater and A-Town. And anyways, we got into it. You know, as quiet as it's kept. As soon as the cuffs came off, we got off where we were mad at, and then we got placed in the oil. So now I'm functioning on a compa, right? And I'm on Mono Hall. Now, Mono Hall, I'm not going to lie, there was a lot of J-Cats there, right? Maybe that's why they sent me there, right? Because I like to cat out a little bit. Anyways, they sent me to Mono Hall. And I remember thinking to myself, damn, I'm trying to get to Tioga where all my homeboys were at. But I could do this. Again, where they send you, they send you. It's just how it is. That's part of the game. Chalk it up. So I'm there. I've been there about 8-9 months. And we started to get a lot of Southerners were coming. They would send bus loads from down south of Southsiders. Where they went, was up to the administration. However they placed them, they played the numbers game. They tried to keep everything equal. But this being a northern facility, there was always going to be more Norteños than there was Southsiders. There were some times when the Southsiders got actually deeper than the Northerners on certain buildings like Carson, Sonora. It was like that. But for the most part, they tried to keep it as even as they could. But even doing that, we'd get so many Northerners coming from NRCC, there was no way to do that. There'd be about, I'd say, 40 Norteños on the unit, maybe 20 Southsiders. And that's usually about even. That's how they kept it, right? So that's how it was on Mona Hall. And as far as Mona Hall went, there was a lot of Southsiders there that I actually had functioned with or did time with down in Nellis. So I knew these guys on a personal tip. We recognize each other. We know about doing time together. So it wasn't no thing but a chicken wing. You know, it was just basically your average every day there. So here we go. One weekend, they got a whole bunch of new GSs, I noticed. And they were doing cell changes. You know, a lot of people, so the way the makeup of this was, it was two dorms with a wall in the middle. One side of the dorm was A side, one side of the dorm was B side, and you had this ramp up each side, and there was 11 cells. Okay, and if you were in a cell, that means you were big ballin' with the homies. You were doing big things. Everybody wanted to get in that cell, because in that cell, there were TVs. You had your own TV. Cell living a little bit more personal. You get in there with the good homeboy. Oh, you guys are doing better time than everyone else is doing. You know, a lot of people like to be in the dorm and wiggle, but I'm tired of smelling fucking cagada, farts, and pedal, right? So to go up into a cell was like big baller status. And I had always kept the cell. I stood on rotation in cell living. So I was actually settled with my homeboy, rest in peace, Turtle from 22nd and Bryant from San Francisco Mission District. And he had just paroled, so I had no cellie. I was trying to get the homeboy Shorty the Salas in my cell. I remember I was politicking to try to get him in there. Getting at every placa, like, hey, bring the homeboy in here. He's worthy. They were like, hey, he isn't quite ready to go in a cell yet. You had to be a worker. You had to do certain things to get into a cell. But I was trying to use my juice card to get him in there. I had been told by the senior, you wait a couple weeks, we'll bring him up into your cell, and then it's good in the hood. So I said, all right, I'll be patient. Now I was thinking they were going to leave my cell empty until then. You know, I had already told them I don't want to take another cell. I mean, I'll do whatever I got to do. So I ain't no punk. But I'm not trying to have another cellie because I'm not trying to have them, you know, then that messes up the progress. Then you bring this guy in, now we got to exchange stuff, we got to do all this, and this guy's going to feel played, and it's going to cause problems, and we don't need all that. Leave me alone. You know what I mean? I'm posted up right here with my big-ass TV. I had a color TV. Yes, I did. The wind was blowing. And bring in the homeboy, and we're going to be cool. You know what I mean? We're going to program accordingly. This wasn't the case this weekend. They started hollering all kinds of cell changes. People were moving from here to there. People were moving from the dorm into cells. And I actually was in the day room at this time, kicking back cleaning. You know, I had a cleaning job. Someone over there, whistle while I work. I was getting my mop on with the homeboy Puerco de Sajo. We're doing our thing, chopping it up. When I look and I notice there's a vato moving into my cell. So, no, hold on now here, right? According to what I've been told, there was no one supposed to be going into my cell. So as I go down to the fucking dorm area and I go up into my cell, as soon as I walk in, I'm like, no, they didn't. Oh, yes, they did. They actually put a Southsider in my cell that had just pulled up maybe about 3 or 4 days prior, named Ducky, and I'm not sure exactly what barrio he was from, but I knew they called the vato Ducky, right? He had big old lentes. I used to call them goggles. You know what I mean? Big old thick lentes. Bifocal. Vato couldn't see me, right? But was going to see me. And I looked at him, he looked at me, and I was like, fuck, hey, what are you doing in here, right? He was like, they put me in here. I was like, all right, I mean, I'll get at you right now, right? He was like, yeah, that's what's up, Esse, right? Vato was no punk by any means. And never shall I say he was, right? Because that's not what this is. He was down, as I was, right? So when it was time to sell in, we closed the door and I said, okay, look, I don't know what your guys' get down is, but this ain't gonna work for us, bro. You know, everybody, I mean, every Norteno, every Southsider on that fucking dorm was looking up at our cell, waiting, right? I said, so look, this is the way we can do it. And you can give your suggestion too, because we're equal. We're both Chicanos, right? I suggest one or two things. The blackers are trying to play us right now. We can see that coming, right? So we're gonna do it like this, homie. We can get off right now, and fucking whoever loses home's got to get the fuck up out the cell. Or, you know what I mean, we could wait till the late night when there's only one block and really get it. He said, Dad, let's wait till the late night. I said, all right, we could do that. Until then, stay on your bunk, I'm stay on mine, right? Just keep it respectful. Well, during that day, we started to chop it up and started to get familiar with each other's program and realized, fuck, hey, this would probably be a good cellie right here. You know what I mean? Dude's fucking pretty clean. He's cool. You know what I mean? And that's just the way it was, man. Like I said, all this division, everything was always in our mentality, in our mind. It's what we were told, what we were indoctrinated to do. But really, at the end of the day, we were both brown, right? But we knew we had to handle our business because everybody was looking at us. So when I came out for school, he came out for school. I'm sure his homeboys were telling him the same thing mine were. What the fuck, eh? Get off on that fool. I said, hold on now. I know what I'm doing. It's my cell, right? You think I'm going to fucking be settled with one of them, mata? Says, get fucked that. En la primera, right? Don't trip. Onda no shine no shoes. You know what I mean? I fucking appreciate you, man. I'm going to get rid of them. Get up, check in. You know what I mean? Get down, demon. We're going to handle it. You know what I mean? Who the fuck you think I look like? And I'm sure he was telling his homeboys the same thing, but they were starting to wonder. You know, homeboys were starting to wonder as well, like, damn, fool, you take a liking to that, bata? Are you guys cool or what? Now you guys are best friends? Are you guys in there fucking hugging or what? Nah, it ain't like that. We're going to handle our shit. Fuck, we've only been sold up for 2.5 hours. Spencer, give me some time. He said, I know we don't have a lot of time, right? So anyways, bam, we come back from the school area, or from school. It's chow time. We're going to chow. Everyone's whispering, looking at us like, look at these putos. You know what I mean? We can hear all the whispers and shit. And I'm feeling some type of way. You know when the hairs on the back of your neck stand up? Fuck this, right? I'm feeling some way. And I'm sure he is too, right? So when we go back in the cell, I said, hey, are your homeboys tripping? He said, yeah, they're tripping a little bit, bro. I said, yeah, mine are too. Look, don't even trip. You know what I mean? We're going to handle our business now. Yeah, I'm thinking in my mind, I'm going to beat the fuck out of you. Again, I know he's thinking the same thing. So trip out. The understanding that we had amongst each other, because we knew the Placas were trying to play us. We wasn't going to conform to that, what they had going on. Or we figured that. Actually, it was just an honest mistake. They didn't know no better. They were new. Was that whoever got his ass whooped was going to get up out of the cell. That was going to tell everybody who won and who lost, right? Palabra. So, soon as fucking the night man comes in, we said, okay, yeah, it's good. It was this dude named Gayser. I remember, I'll never forget, he was a Filipino guy that didn't pay too much attention to anybody. He was too busy in there doing weird shit, and I'll tell you a story about that later. But anyway, so we're posted up. I'm like, you ready? He's like, yeah, I'm ready. So we started to break the cell down. Now, for those of you that didn't know what break the cell down means, that means they had that like a desk where you could write, and they had certain things. We started to move the desk onto the bunks, the chairs on the bunks, so there's less, obstacles when we're trying to get off. You know, we're going to keep it respectful. One thing about certain places was it was very professional the way you fought, man. It wasn't no just all-out war unless it was get off where you were mad at. You know, for the most part, we'll fucking try to get our issue. At the end of the day, we need that area. So we're breaking down our cell. You ready? You're ready. Are you ready? No, I'm ready. And you don't look ready. I am ready, though. But how about you? I don't look ready, but I am ready, too. Boom. We started to get off. Boom, 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 boom. Handling it. You can hear everyone, that's right, that's it, that's right, homeboy. That's right in there, right? Fools are just yelling and screaming. And the block was like, hey, what's going on down there? We got quiet. Shh. I got him in the headlock. Shh. Wait up. You know what I mean? The block was like, something happening down there? Guard, right? It's all good. He was like, oh, thought I heard something, right? He goes back to fucking doing what he was doing. You ready? Hike. We're getting it again. Everyone's like, yeah, you can hear. Hey, I said, hey, watch out, the blockers are coming over here. Now he's got me in the headlock. Shut up, bitch, right? They're coming. Anyways, we did this for about 3 or 4 rounds, back and forth. And I'm not going to sit here and say I beat him up, he beat me up. It was none of that, man. Was I taking it easy on him? No. Was he taking it easy on me? If he was, I didn't feel it, you know. But we were fighting. Boom, we're getting down. We're handling our business like we should. Then it comes a time where it's just like, okay, well, who won? Who's gonna decide who won? I'm not gonna say I lost. He's definitely not gonna say he lost. I felt he lost, but he's not gonna say that, and he felt I lost, but he's not gonna say that. And it was like we sat there on our bunks all night, kind of just chopping it up and getting to know each other some more, and just be like, damn, bro, what's going to happen in the morning? Everyone expects the first one to walk out of that cell to go to the placas and say, hey, I need a cell change. This shit ain't working out for me, which kind of was a PC move, right? That neither one of us wanted to do because we probably get dropped level for some shit like that. So I was like, hey, fuck this, bro. How about me and you just both step out this cell together and just fucking both walk down and be like, this ain't going to work for us, right? He said, I'm down if you're down. I said, shit, like downtown Julie Brown, let's handle it. Right? We were running out of time, right? Sure enough, the door pops, boom, for breakfast. Chow time, all the lights cut on, people already fucking running around, mopping floors and shit. And we both step out that motherfucker. Both of us got a little shiner. I ain't gonna lie, my nose itches. I might be getting some verga. Either that or what. So we step out, and boom, fucking the Placa sees us, and this Placa's kind of looking, and he was like, you know what the fuck are these guys doing? And we walk back down, the fucking ramp, and all the homeboys are looking at me, they're like, what the fuck him up, eh? You know what I mean? I'm like, all his homeboys are, hey, Sid, you get him? He's like this. Right? We mob down there. We both tell the block, hey, we think there's been a discrepancy here. You know what I mean? See, the way it works out is, even though we're brown, we're not the same color of brown, right? One's blue-brown, the other one's red-brown, right? And they're like, oh, shit, right? The senior comes in, he's like, what the fuck are you guys doing together, right? I mean, I'm just saying, though, right? He was like, you motherfuckers probably beat the hell out of each other last night. Nah, we actually didn't. He was like, oh, then maybe this will work. No, this ain't gonna work, right? Quietly as it's kept, no PC moves, no weird shit, man. They basically separated us because they figured out that the GS that was working the night before, the day before, he had made a horrible mistake. A mistake that wasn't commonly done. Now, I say that story to say this. We actually took a liking to each other. After that, we had so much respect for each other. You know, we'd walk around the compound. We always had inside joke, what's up, homie? You know what I mean? We did that. First ones ever sold up together. You know what I mean? That was our fucking claim to fame. And that we handled our business righteously like we're supposed to do. But at the end of the day, when you go back and think about it, and I think about me as a youngster and what counts and what doesn't count, that doesn't count. None of that counts, right? But I'll never forget it in my lifetime because it taught me a valuable lesson. The lesson is, what were we doing it for? You know, I understand my cause and I understood what I truly believed in. Nothing has changed in my lifetime, right? And I understood that he was from down south and I understood that he was about his people too. Nothing has changed there. But it was the mere fact that two young Chicanos, man, that had absolutely zero against each other, right? Why? Because he fucking lived in Southern California, I hated him, and because I was from up north, you know what I mean? Nah, there was none of that. We actually didn't even know each other. When we got to know each other and actually chop it up, we actually agreed on so much. So I was good. He was like, yeah, man, you know, because we had the TV going. He was like, yeah, man, I hope the fuck I ain't gonna lie, bro. I like the Giants. I hope they win. I said, hey, shit, me too, eh? But I like the Dodgers too. He was like, yeah, do you? Bam, man. We actually it was pretty similar, man, in stilos, pretty similar in the gift of gab and our charisma and the way we chopped it up. And it's just unfortunate that so many times in so many situations people have been set up together and have had to get off, remove their celly, even at some points in times kill their celly, just based on different geographies and different affiliations. It's a horrible thing, horrible existence to live like that. And that's one thing the administration has over anyone is you never know who's coming in your cell. I've told stories where people are single-celled or they don't want to, take a celly and they've been placed in a certain cell and they actually fucking do their celly in very viciously or violently. You never know who you're celled up with. You never know exactly what's happening. If this Vato has a bad day, you have to have that bad day with them. You can't be having a good day and your celly having a bad day. It don't work like that. If there's a bad day going on in the cell, everyone's going to have a pinchy bad day. Good days are great days, man. Bad days are more frequent. There's times like this, I wish raindrops would fall. Vatos are over there praying, praying that fucking they could go out to that yard and get that dip bar first. It's an ugly existence, an ugly situation, but it's something that a lot of individuals are going through right now. And you can only wonder and sympathize with what they got going on. Now, I know there's going to be people in the comments like, so what? They did the crime, let them do the time. Fuck them. No, fuck you. But straight up, man. I don't woof or belittle anyone's fucking, what they got going on. We're all the same at the end of the day, man. Some people make some mistakes and get caught. Some people don't. It's just the way it is. Anyways, that's my little story on being settled with the Southsider. There was times after that where they almost made mistakes like that, and the butchering would have began because as you got older, homie didn't play that. It was pretty much different. Administration kind of knew not to do that because there would have been fucking a whole bunch of knife wounds going on. But in YA, they did try it. Like I said, it actually happened. I was sold up for 24 hours with the Southerner, right? And we did our thing, man, and I respect him to the fullest, and I'll never forget. I can forgive us, but you can't forget, With that being said, I hope that you move smooth with a purpose. Hope that you get everything that you want coming to you. Remember, at the end of the day, it's all about the struggle and strive for realness and the illness and what you truly believe in, and that should be your family, man, you and yours. You only got one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. You see what I'm saying? Let's go. If you like this, please hit that like and subscribe with a thumbs up. If not, definitely, you can hit me with that thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears this crown. I'm going to continue to strive and struggle for what the hell I fucking I truly believe in. And that's the coming together of all people. I got to sell up with them. No, I can't eat after you. I can't sell up with you. So I was scared, what? Is that a jabón? Can I get half? But don't even touch my half. Use plastic or something. Spensa en la tira. That's just how it was, right? It ain't like that anymore, homes. Now, we're brown. You know what it is, man. This the gun lock. I'm with that biz. Bang, bang. And in that motherfucking fashion. They be hating.